Greetings from Las Vegas, or just north of Las Vegas. Today the subject is choices. We make a lot of choices every day, and sometimes it might be going to Burger King for lunch when you know an hour or two later you're going to regret that choice. Or bringing a bag of Doritos home because you know they're just going to be gone before you know it, and you're just not going to be that happy. Another choice might be, hey, there's a massive rainstorm an hour or two away. Let's take a ride up into the mountains and try out the Triumph Scrambler 400X on Mormon Well Road, see how it feels. Well, that's the choice I made. I also had Burger King for lunch today, so let's just see how it goes and see if we get caught in the rain or not. All right, let's fire this mad machine up and follow the cars, because this is just a road. There's a Jeep just passed up in front of me a few minutes ago, but GPS is going to take us right up to the Desert Pass Campground, and that's the endpoint destination. Then we'll turn around and come back the same way. And this is Mormon Well Road. There's no S. I really thought it was Mormon Wells. I always used to call it that, but Mormon Well Road. I have another video from years ago. A friend of mine and I did this on real dirt bikes. Well, sort of. I was on a WR250R. He was on his KTM. Had a great time. Oh, you know what? The other thing I didn't do is, let me do that right now. I don't know if you have to pull over for this or not, but put it in off-road mode, right? Because we are off-road. There it is, off-road, and just hold it down. Bam, on. That's all we had to do. So that disables traction control and ABS. So if we do have to get a little twisty on the throttle. And then that road there, oh, I don't think we're going to do that. I was considering taking that road back, but it might not be quite what I thought it was. I thought it might be something that me and another friend could try. It avoids taking the highway back into town, but because it's about a 9 or 10 mile road on a fast 70 mile an hour highway to get up to the turnoff for this place. And some people, myself included, well, this bike isn't too bad for it, but if you're on something like the WR250R, which that's what my other friend is going to be on, that might not be the greatest thing for 70 mile an hour highway for extended periods of time. In 9 or 10 miles, maybe okay, but what does this say up here? And you know, there was a sign as we were coming in on Corn Creek Road, vehicle travel only in designated, proceed at your own risk. Okay. There was a sign when we were entering this area, no admittance after sunset. So there's, campgrounds in here, so people will be staying the night. And apparently they closed the gates, and at least from that entrance, from the Corn Creek Road area. And this is all a National Wildlife Refuge here, so pretty cool. And here we go with these Jeeps. They're kind enough to let me pass. That's very nice. This is usually how it works. There's, for whatever reason, the two-wheeled vehicles, thank you, have a much easier time on these roads, or they're just enjoying the slow crawl and they just want to do a little sightseeing. It's fine too, whatever. Well, it has certainly already gotten pretty. And I'm not just talking about the person inside the helmet. It's just nice. A lot of people just come on up in here, and you don't see any trash. At least I haven't, and I'm hoping it stays that way. That is, oh, I think that was my first skid plate rock on the new skid plate. That's great. This is, and I don't know if that's a matter of the staff constantly policing it up and making sure there's nothing here, or if people are just kind enough to be respectful and not dump their stuff like a bunch of pigs. So there's a little parking area. Oh, you know what? All right. I gotta stop and smell the roses, right? This looks like a really pretty background here, so yeah, the map, Mrs. GPS voice in my head is going, hey, wait a minute. This would be a nice photo opportunity here. Just avoid any of the sharp, pokey things. Alright, put it in. You know what? I'm gonna kill the engine for a moment. Hoi. Get a quick photo. There's my new spot for stashing gloves. Oh yeah, that's nice. Alright. Off we go. Alright, here we go. Oh, oncoming traffic. What? I think I'll wait for this person to go by. It looks like the water is still... It's not going away, but it doesn't seem like it's super horrible, like impending. There we go. All right. Gas Peak Road. I'll have to try that one of these days too and just see where that goes. Oh, this is really bumpy. But we know what our destination is for today, and if this goes well, we'll continue coming back and explore some of these branches. Alright, this is nice. I'm also stopping. I'm just trying to be safe. Stopping to turn the camera on and off for these little chunks, these little sections. I'm trying to essentially do, I've made a bit of a commitment to say every time I've gotten injured in the past, it's because it's been a hold my beer moment. It's been I'm doing something I already know it's dumb, and then I end up getting hurt. Poor choices. Back to the subject for today. Like, I know, look at how pretty that is to the left. Wow. I know how much Burger King is going to hurt in an hour or two. I still chose to have that for an early lunch, but man, I used to work at a car wash in Detroit the summer between 11th and 12th grade of high school. I'd worked for the same person for 3 years, and this was my last summer before going into the Army. And there was a Burger King right next to that car wash. You smell that all day long, and all you can think about is, when is it going to be lunchtime or dinner time or whatever, and you can get another Whopper. Wow, that's pretty. Damn, that's really nice. Look at that. This area is so beautiful. So when it comes to poor choices regarding safety, I'm going to stick to the smart side of that one. I may get a little wet if I get rained on. Not a big deal. Dry out pretty easy. I don't mind riding in the rain once in a while. Hell, when I bought the Tiger 250 miles away from home, the entire ride home, or almost about 200 miles of it, was in the rain in a horrible windstorm. I thought, well, that's a good way to get to know that thing. So getting a little wet once in a while is not bad. You just don't want to do it in, necessarily in roads like this, but at least this wouldn't be muddy because there's so much gravel here. last time we came up here, a long time ago, it was just a complete mystery. We'd never been up here, and just it's always great when you're exploring new roads for the first time. And there was a scenic overlook that we stopped at after we passed a bunch of Jeeps, and that was really nice. And then eventually we end up going through something called Peekaboo Canyon. You know, I will say the seat on this thing is great. Good on you, Triumph, for doing the Tiger and this. No desire at all to replace the seat on either of those, and every other bike I've ever had. Oops. Downshift. You gotta get a seat concept seat on them, but these are great. Super comfy. And there's some big old rocks going up this. I'm gonna go nice and slow. Not in the mood to dig out the plug kit today. Wow, yeah, this is. I think I remember this from the last time coming up on the WR, just going, oh, good grief, when is this going to get less bumpy? Yeah. It's going to be a while. But this is some hard-packed rock in here, so you don't have as much erosion issues. If it was just loose dirt, which is easier to ride on when it's dry, it's a real challenge when it's wet, though. Let's see. 17 more miles. All right, and because I'm going so slow, it says it's going to take about an hour to get there, and we get to do the whole thing in reverse. If I could probably, I'll have to look at the map when I get up there. I could probably continue on to the other side, which is, I think 93 it comes out. I'll have to see how many miles that is from the campground, whether it makes sense, because that was a little bit, from what I recall, that was a little more sketchy on that side, but we'll see what my mood is once I get up to the campground area. Ooh. Boy, oh boy. I keep thinking that scenic overlook thing, oh yeah, it's just at the top of this hill. But the hill is apparently part of the never-ending story. Either that or the song that never ends, whichever your preference is. Oh my goodness. It goes on and on, my friends. We're just climbing and climbing and climbing. Oh, maybe this is that place I was talking about earlier that, let's see, Long Canyon. Yeah, I think that's probably a pretty good name for it. Yeah, this is the one I was thinking of. Pull in here and do another, should have gone the other way. Dum-dum. Do another snap. Wow, this is wow right here. I don't know if this is going to be flat enough to put the kickstand down, though. Maybe right here. Give the bike a momentary breather. Well, that certainly is a pretty area. Let's continue. Well, the sign we just passed said Yucca Forest, so I guess that's what this is. It is pretty. Oh, there's a Jeep enjoying the... Oh, wow, yeah, this is another one of those very pretty areas. Alright, another look around, and yep, it's still beautiful. And stop looking around and up and hitting one of those tombstone rocks in your path. You can call it a tombstone for two reasons. One is it's like somebody's planted a tombstone in the middle of the road, and it's sometimes, well, especially with tube tires, those would be a nasty way to potentially blow out your tube tire. Or the other one is if you hit it the wrong way, it might be the last thing you ever hit if you go over the handlebars and you end up with a tombstone of your own. But I think it's the first thing is what it's really all about. So, just making note of another intersection here, Pine Nut Road, another place that will probably be worth exploring soon. Hey, we're down to 39 minutes now until the campground on the top of the mountain, the Desert Pass Campground. I think we might be getting close to the entrance to Peekaboo Canyon up here as well. The road keeps getting a little bit better. You know, I was thinking, here's my idea for a kick-ass job. Delivery boy for a place like, remote places like Desert Pass Campground where it takes you, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours. So somebody's at the campground, they want Subway, they want some subs, or they want some KFC. You get yourself a big enduro, like a, you know, Husky 701, KTM 690, something like that, with a big tail bag or a top case on the back of that thing, and you go pick up their order. It's going to take a while, but the more you do it, the faster you'll get at it, and their stuff is going to be banged around a little bit. So that's why, you know, you got to say, hey, look, I can't get you a pizza because that's going to be destroyed, but I can most certainly stop at Subway or Blimpie or whatever it is that you want. All right, so this is a super cool area. I think I'm going to flip around for a second and get a photo and change some batteries. It's always amazing, these little flowers on the side of the road. I really like this backdrop here. Yeah, Miss GPS boss lady. I'm facing the wrong way, I know. Okay. Okay. Got the batteries swapped out. Heading into Peekaboo Canyon. I don't know, and yeah, the road just became really good. Yeah, there we go. Peekaboo Canyon. Look at this. Oh, you know, there we go again. Off-road mode. Boink, 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 boink. Off-road. That's all right. And into the Peekaboo. Oops. Wow, man, look at that cave up there. This is cool. Not to mention a great place to dump a body. That's probably what they were doing, right? Or they were thinking about climbing up into that cool cave in the middle of the cliff. That would be pretty nice too. Alright, this is one of those you're just kind of going on faith that there's not somebody coming from the other direction at high speed, because that'll clean your clock. This is so pretty. I mean, honestly, everything's been pretty, but Peekaboo Canyon is where it all really starts. This is the money shot here. Let's see, we're gonna go, what is it, 10 more miles till the campground. Oh, that's right. I knew there was some, or is this it? Or is this not? No, there's going to be, I believe, an intersection at some point up here. I recall we could have gone straight or turned left, and we turned left, and we didn't even know there was a campground up here the first time we came. And, oh, and by the way, those bark busters just busted all the bark on those branches, and my hands feel completely protected. So that discussion we had about protection recently is paying off. But yeah, last time we're just out exploring. We says, hey, there's dirt roads. We heard this is beautiful. Let's go check it out. And wow, it is beautiful. And next thing you know, we're at a campground on the top of a mountain that we'd never even heard of. That is awesome. That's the same thing that happened with Pioneer Saloon for us a long time ago. Yeah, these roads are great. And it's so pretty along here. If you're walking right now, look at that. Look up in front of us. I mean, damn. I was just going to say, if you were hiking or walking or riding in a Jeep, you'd probably be getting, because you don't have to concentrate as much. You'd probably be getting a little more out of the scenery here, because you have to stay so focused with this to make sure you don't slam into something dumb or right off the trail. But there is so much beauty surrounding us. Till you would. Alright, at some point we're going to come up to the top of a ridgeline area, and it's just going to be pine trees everywhere. I mean, we're already starting to see them. Like that one we just passed. I could have reached out and given it a fist bump. And that goes towards those, like this. Oh yeah. High five. Side five, whatever. I just high-fived a pine tree. I miss pine trees. Alright. I guess we're out of Peekaboo Canyon for the most part. It's a 124. Still curious what's going to happen with the rain situation today. How much I am or am not going to regret my choice of this ride today. So far, I'm not regretting it at all. I don't care if I get completely soaked, so let's put that out there. All right, so that, okay, maybe that's the crossroad I was thinking of, and then this may be where we start to shoot upward in elevation even more pretty soon. I was going to see how far off are we now? 6.5 miles from the campground at this point. 25 minutes. So we're pretty close. I'd have been here a long time ago if I wasn't driving like a little girl, but I don't care. You know, I keep thinking about when do I cut the camera for another segment, because I don't want to just have long running things of me rambling and the terrain being somewhat boring. Like this. I mean, I could probably chop some of this, but it's just awesome. The riding, here we are doing almost, I better drop it down a little, I was doing almost 40 in 5th gear, and this thing's just, it's like, yeah, I'm good, I'm happy. Let's see, 11 minutes, 2.9 miles. And you know, they call this Mormon Well Road. Where's the well? Maybe there's one along here. You'd think that would be kind of a highlight, wouldn't you? No, I do recall. Yeah, just like this area here where it's just, man, this is it. It's so beautiful. All these pine trees everywhere. So much to love. Another nice straightaway here. And this is the pretty, this is the pretty stuff. I need to get off that peak. Alright, I think I'm going to put on the front-facing one again, because we're coming up on the campground in 2 minutes. And let's see here, 2 minutes, half a mile to the campground. Ooh, is this getting sandy? Maybe, maybe not, I'm not sure. Just gonna have to pay good attention here. I don't want to pull up to the campground and tip it over like a big goon. Is this it? Oh, alright. Well, I think Mormon Pass. Alright, I'm not to the campground yet, but oops. Man, oh man. Come on, old fella. I do suppose we should get a quick pic in front of this sign here. I think I'll turn off the bike for this one. Come on, I need to get the... I'll just have to keep my hand on it. Don't be resting your side of your leg up against that hot piece of metal right there, smart guy. All right. Alright, let's continue. We're almost to the entrance. Don't need to put it back in off-road mode just yet. Here we are. Oh, they even have actual restrooms. Pit toilets, whatever. Sweet. Get another photo here and then pause at a camp. Oh, shoot. I need to get a flat spot. There we go. Here we are. It says your destination is on the left. Awesome. Get one more photo. Put this in a flatter area. take a load off. Pretty good, pretty good. Well, what a great place to take a little break, have a water, decide which way I'm going to continue from here. This is great. Desert Pass Campground. And this is one of those no-fee areas. First come, first served. You come up here, rustic camping, pit toilet, that sort of thing. I don't think there's any electricity up here either. But you come up and you just find a spot. You want to park your truck or your Jeep or your whatever it is, or your Toyota with a homemade camper in the back, something super cool, badass like that, and come on up here, and this would be a great place to spend a night or two or three away from everything. So maybe not tonight, considering the big storm that's about to roll through here, but what a very beautiful, peaceful area, and what a great way to get up here. I go around and kick my crash bars and skid plate and stuff like that, make sure everything is still nice and tight and that the bolts haven't loosened up. I don't see why they would, but prudent to do something like that. So I'm just going to sit here and enjoy this for a little bit longer, and I think that's going to call it, because this is essentially the end of the cruise. Heading back home from here isn't really that's how I usually do it. I'll take you along for the ride till I get there, and then on the way home, going back the same, if it's the same way back, I'm just going to enjoy that without having to worry about narration or video or batteries or any of that stuff. So I know I said I was done recording, but oh my God, to put it in a John Travolta's terms, it's just too damn beautiful. The way I decided to continue on and not go the same way and go towards 93, because the actual dirt part looked like it was about half or 1/3 as much. And with that storm coming in, this is riding away from the storm. So come along with me. We're not going to a place called Candied Island, but it is adventure time, and this is just beautiful. This might be, I don't know, with all these trees and the winding roads. I remember this from before. We were like, which way do we go? This might be even prettier than the way up to the campground. It's just amazing. And I kept thinking, well, I'll just come back again and record it again later. Well, who knows? It might be 3 or 4 or 5 years before I do that. So we're here now. Let's do it now. Okay, that answers that question. There we go. I was like, do we go to the right or to the left? Okay, no vehicles beyond this point. Caught me off guard. I mean, just look around. Oh man. It was almost like a, not quite a tree tunnel back there, but it was just pine trees surrounding you everywhere, and it's so pretty. It smelled so good. Oh, that was the that's where you feel when you go over some of those bumps. The lack of off-road suspension in a machine like this, when you have a little bit of a thump, yeah, your butt and your spine takes the brunt of it instead of the suspension. It's all right. Oh, I remember all this stuff. Man, this is just so cool. I'm so glad we're getting this on camera. Oh, Jesus. That was a bouncer. Oh, youch. It feels unnatural doing it on this bike. It's so pretty. What does this sign say? Flash flood. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. And here we go again. The skyline, the surroundings changing again. This is the part in the video where my wife is going, "Why are you riding in the left lane, Mr. Unamoto? Eric, get in the right lane. You're riding next to a cliff." Yeah, you know what? I'm wondering that too. And then you think, well, I want to get over, but well, now the cliff is gone and I don't need to. Mormon Well Road / Sawmill Road, they're saying now. Okay. This is badass. And then there's quite a few of these gates I keep seeing all over the place. This is federal land, government land. Oh, wow. Look at this. Let's see if we can get over here for a second. Yeah, wow, look at that. I think there's a little pull-off over there. We got to stop and take a look at that. That's wow right there. Oh, right here. Oh my. Yeah, this is deserving of a quick pick. Man, oh man, is that pretty. All right. Wide angle. Yep. That is, I just get, all right. I'm always a little paranoid. There we go. Get out there. Okay. Cool. I'm gonna do this the wimpy way because I didn't want to have to push it behind me. I'm just gonna, yeah. Turn around here. Wow! Oh my God! Look at how pretty that is. Oh, another vehicle coming. More good signs that this is an actual passable road. Alright, here we go. So let's see, we turn in 9.9 miles, so still have 10 miles of this. I think that's, yeah, we turn in 10 miles onto 93. Otherwise, so this ends up being about, I don't know, about 15 miles from the campground to 93. And I'm pretty sure if we had gone, I'm pretty sure from the paved area at the National Wildlife Conservation Center, whatever that was, I think that was 27 miles. So this is roughly half the dirt distance from the campground. Still no signal up here. It's kind of a bummer. I was hoping to have a chat with the missus. It was not too far from the campground. And at the campground there was no signal, but not too far from it. I don't know, five miles from it or so, maybe before we came up the mountain. I still had service with T-Mobile. See, and then you get these stretches like this where it's glorious. It's just perfect road. But I don't want to be get a false sense of security here and suddenly realize, bam, Arroyo, pow, right in the kisser. as your face hits the road in front of you. You know, I know people are familiar with that from Family Guy. Pow, right in the kisser, but I actually saw one of the Looney Tunes episodes from 1955 this morning. Yes, Saturday morning cartoons are alive and well in my house, at least in my living room. It was an old one, and it was some parody on Little Red Riding Hood. Sylvester was working with the Big Bad Wolf. Little Red Riding Hood was taking Tweety to see Grandma. Big Bad Wolf wanted Little Red Riding Hood. Sylvester wanted Tweety. When they get to Grandma's house, they just kick her out. She turns around and says, "One of these days," pow, right in the kisser. I thought that's where I looked over to admire the beautiful scenery over there, and the road started to curve. I'm like, oh, I'm crossing over the middle. Wow, that's gorgeous. Damn. All right, focus on where we're going. Wow. At the top of this little ridgeline hill here, and the wind gust came, and it's like very nice. It's going, hey, I heard you were feeling a little overheated. How would you like a nice cool breeze? I thank you. Okay, you know what? Here we go. This isn't quite as bad as what I was talking about, but I don't know how well you can see these, but this is what I was talking about with the need for these skid plates. As you see these step downs here where there's a little rock shelf and it steps down, especially the one up there ahead. And if you don't have enough suspension height, which you don't on a bike like this, or even like I said, my WR, and your front tire goes down and the bottom of the bike it scrapes along that, the whole weight of the bike is now on the bottom of the bike. Skid plate keeps it from damaging whatever is on the bottom side of your bike. Plastic one is not going to help, and the factory one won't help. And I did it to an extent one time on the WR, the Yamaha WR250R. I must have been going quite fast, and I'm 200 pounds, well, plus. And when I come back down on that thing, if I'm putting my weight plus the bike's weight on that skid plate, I actually bent the subframe somewhat down there. And fortunately, it's replaceable. I was able to find a used one off of eBay. But anyway, that is a pretty good example of what I was talking about, the need for a proper skid plate if you're going to be in these types of roads. Alright, so we're going to do a big loop around, and we have just about, I think we just hit 5 miles exactly until we hit the highway, until we're back on the paved area on the tarmac. The other one you can say is a poor choice, and a lot of people would agree, but a lot of us do this, is coming out and riding in remote areas like this, especially like right now, there's no cell coverage. This is what, and I'm sorry, Lori, this is what drives her crazy. What happens if something happens? And I'm out here. Fortunately, this is a somewhat well-traveled area where I've seen, I know there's a vehicle behind me not too far back, maybe a mile behind me, and I've passed a vehicle coming this way, so if I was to have a mechanical failure or an injury or something like that, somebody would be along eventually. But it's a valid concern. You really shouldn't do this stuff by yourself. There's always a potential for something happening. And I really want to look at that beautiful rock formation to the right of us over there, but it got a little gravel washy for a minute here, so I need to pay attention. I'm just going to stop because look at that. Wow. That is beautiful. This whole area, that's what these rides are for. It's to just stop once in a while and just admire. What a beautiful area. super lucky to have this available. And we can see kind of the valley below, and I'm assuming that is where 93 is running through, so we're getting pretty darn close. Alright, let's just see what these signs say. Signs everywhere, signs. Vehicle travel permitted only on designated roads. Yep, okay. No billy goats. I think that's what they call them, the guys that just, hey, let's go over there, and then they just tear across and that's how the new trails are formed. They just go, all vehicles must be street legal. Okay, oh, look at the view behind us. Oh, it's so pretty. More signs, and you know what? I think this is it. 0.2 miles to 93. Oh yeah. Take precaution. It doesn't weigh anything. Yes, very good. This is a massive area. Oh, and they're showing, hey, be careful. If you get caught in a flash flood, you can really be stuck. And welcome to your National Wildlife Refuge system. And a couple of more warning signs here. Let's see what these are about. Let's see. Registered and insured passenger vehicles only. All off-highway vehicles are prohibited, meaning no motocross bikes. So you got to have a license plate if you're coming back here. No side-by-sides also, which means entrance to Desert National Wildlife Refuge is permitted between 4 a.m. and sunset. Okay, so during daylight only, which makes sense because, oh my gosh, this would be super dangerous at the middle of night. Desert Wildlife Range. Can I get off? I think I can get off and do a quick photo here because I don't think the vehicles are, no, they're not catching up to me yet. Whoever was behind me. Oh, and do I have, nope, still no cell signal. Damn. How much fun is that? Oh my god, it's so fun. So fun. And then the gate, I don't know if they close this at night or not, but we are just about back to the boring old pavement in 600 feet. Turn right onto US 93 south. Yes, ma'am. The voice in my head commands it. Oh, damn, look at this. It's putting up a fight right to the very end. Whew. All right. And there really isn't a sign. Is there a sign here? No. You just have to know where this is. All right. Well, that's it. This is the real end, and I'm going to cut you back now to the closing that I did, I don't know, an hour ago, back at the campground. If you enjoy these kind of videos, this kind of content, please remember to hit that subscribe button so you'll be notified of future ones. Appreciate you watching this all the way to the end. And, oh, there's one of those mysterious flying insects that we don't have down in town too often. So until next time, drive carefully and come back soon.